Gotta do them dirty.
Oh, you already.
All right, boys. Welcome to the Not Move podcast. Tonight we're going to be breaking down some current NFL news. I'm going to start it off with a couple Jets that just got paid the bag. Um, Sauce Gardner got a 4-year deal for 120.4 mil, and that comes out to 30.1 mil a year. I was kind of talking about this with some guys earlier and talking about where he would fall and the top cornerbacks in the league. Now, with his 30.1 mil, he is now the highest paid cornerback in the league. Derek Stingley comes in second. He's making 30 mil. We got J.C. Horn making 25 mil. And we have Jalen Ramsey making 24.1 and PS2 is making 24. So that's your top 5 corners and how much they're getting paid. Now, Common, is there anything you got when it comes to the top 5 paid corners and any opinion you got on this contract?
Nah, I really don't. I mean, congrats to him. You know what I mean? Congrats to the contract. I wish you nothing but the success. But you you gotta wait until they step on the field. You know what I mean? To actually see if it was worth it. You gotta wait till they step on the field. A lot of times these guys get the contract. They'll put in all their hard work, and then once they get the contract, they'll start. If for some unknown reason they start to decline. So let's see if Sauce can live up to the contract. You know what I mean? I want to see if he lives up to it. But congrats to him.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me pass it to T. T, you got anything on that?
Honestly, I think it's good for both players, considering I think they both actually kind of deserve it with the competition, especially with Sauce Garner being in the competitions of Derek Stingley, PS2, JC Horn. A lot of these young corners are right now coming up in the league. So if I was the Jets, there would be no question giving him that money. Now, do I think is he worth that compared to those other corners? That can be argued depending on how some people like it. But I think for how their franchise is going, I think this is actually a really good fit. And these two, I feel like, are actually going to be really good for many years to come, honestly. Do you have anything more to add on that one, Beg?
I mean, I feel the same sentiment, really. You got Garrett Wilson, who's a great potential number one in the league, right? Um, Sauce, he had a down year last year, but still played very solid in spurts. Um, and this is a great direction for the New York Jets as a whole, like Tina said, right? Because they haven't been doing too well with contracts and drafting over the last 10 years or so. It's been a little hit and miss. But the fact that both the guys that you had become offensive rookie of the year and defensive rookie of the year, you're signing them on time, right? Right after their third year, because they're both first round picks. So it helps later down the road when it comes to maneuvering and having money for the salary cap. Because if you sign them the later that you sign them, the greater that you got to pay them. And
That and the more desperate they'll get too.
I think, yeah, this is a good step in the direction for the New York Jets. And they got their quarterback for a couple years on the cheap end with Justin Fields at $30 million for the next 2 years or 3 years with a player option, I believe. But yeah, I like the way it's looking. So how about you, JB?
Yeah. So like I mean I kind of like it, you know. I mean it's probably well deserved in both ways, you know, and I do like to see that the Jets are making that stride and making sure that they retain talent, not just on one side of the ball, but both, you know. As you said, Bag, you know, they were offensive and defensive was it rookies of the year or up there for like that's to have that on your team, you know what I mean? Like that to be able to tie up both of them for future, that's pretty impressive. I just I don't know. We had a debate earlier, not really a debate, but a discussion about this on live, and it was kind of opened my eyes to some topics. But I guess overall, I guess it's you know, I like it. I think they're going in the right direction.
All right. So since we already hit on the cornerback market, which it reset the market because PS2 got his contract and it's went up another 6 mil. So I think when PS2's contract, I think pay him early, like we were talking about earlier, that shows me the market's roughly going to be up about another 6 mil. So when PS2 gets paid, it's going to be about 36 mil, I bet. So my Broncos better be ready to pay that because he is the best corner in the game. And you can say Sauce is 1, 2, 3. He's definitely top five. I can definitely say Sauce probably still is top five. I would not say he's the best corner in the league. But let me move on to Garrett Wilson, right? Garrett Wilson got a 4-year deal for 130 mil with 90 million guaranteed. I was just recently looking this up with everybody, and I compared his last 3 years, or his only 3 years, to Scary Terry's last 3 years, and they are pretty close. Like Scary Terry has a slight edge and a little bit more in the accolades department, but he's that's what the market is setting at now, especially for a number one wide receiver. So, thoughts real quick on you guys, real quick on Garrett Wilson getting his bag, and is he going to be worth this money? Go ahead, Common.
Yeah, first and foremost, congratulations to Garrett. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Congratulations. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing when I see a young brother get paid. You know what I mean? He can, you know what I mean, financially stable his family, you know what I mean, for years to come. Hopefully he invests it right. Now on to whether or not he's worth it. Personally, I think he has proven that he earned it. Okay. I think he's proven he's earned it with the lack of quarterback play they have had over there. He's still been able to put up and been able to produce, you know what I mean, a year for his first 3 years. Oh, excuse me. And, I just want to see, can he maintain it? Like I said before, we always see guys, get that big contract, and they get that contract, and it goes. I don't know if it goes to their head. I don't know if they exhale now because they got the big contract, and now they feel as though they don't have to work as hard. I mean, it's all different angles and aspects you can look at it. But I want to see. Me. I'm all about you doing your talking on the field. You know what I mean? I'm all about you doing your talking on the field. So, congratulations to him. He's earned it. He showed that he's earned it. You know what I mean? He let them know I'm your number one receiver. You know what I mean? By his past 3 years, right? He let them know I'm your number one. Now, let's see if he can rise up to that level to be an elite number one. He already showed the Jets that he's their number one. Now I need him to show the league that I'm an elite number one. You know what I mean? He got his check. I got my check. All right. So now let me show y'all, now let me show the world I'm an elite number one. And the only way you can do that is on the field. So, you know what I mean? Let's see if he can show everybody that let's see if he can take that next step and become an elite number one and start being the conversations, start having his name said in the same conversations, in the same sentence when we speak of Chase and Jefferson. You know what I mean? Let's see if he can do that. And like I said, the only way to do that is on the field. So I'm gonna pitch it to T-Nez. T-Nez, what you got for it?
Honestly, I think this is probably a very great fit. I mean, especially for Wilson, for many years, for the past 3 years you mentioned, having to have this competition. I mean, I think he deserves it without a question of a doubt. He solidified himself as a number one receiver. Now, does he have enough volume to compare himself to these bigger guys? I think that's more of the question for not just the people, but even in himself. Because, like you said, Coach C, like there's a lot of players where when you get this big payday, a lot of it does go to their head. because it feels as though they have a target on their back. Because you see this young kid who's trying to make something really great for himself and a franchise. So honestly, I think it's going to be really interesting seeing this Jets team and how they're going to play out with these new leaders they have coming forth. Now I'm gonna pitch at the bag. Do you have anything more to add on this one, bag?
Shit, that goes to Jaw. Jaw, what's up, man?
Oh shit, I didn't know he was here.
Yeah, Jaw just came in.
Yeah,
Jaw,
yeah. How y'all doing?
Good,
Good,
man.
good. Ja, real quick. Garrett Wilson got a 4-year deal, 130 mil, 90 million guaranteed. Just give us a quick rundown what you think of him getting paid.
Oh, first off, for the Jets, I love this deal, and I love it for some fact that Garrett Wilson has shown you with the quarterback, without a quarterback, he can produce. So now you give him a quarterback that he's familiar with and everything. I think he'll produce even more. But personally, I just love the deal. He's the best receiver there. I feel like he's worth the money. I don't think 90 mil guaranteed is what he's worth. However, I think he's worth the deal itself. So I think it's a good deal.
What about Sauce? Do you think Sauce deserved to be the top paid corner in the league?
Top paid, no. I think no one should be over Satan. However, knowing how the market has been, everybody's going to reset the market. So if you look at it that way, yes, but no, I don't think he should have been the number one corner. But I
All
do
right.
think he should have gotten paid.
All right, we'll pass it to Bag next.
I mean, absolutely, it was worth it, and congratulations to him, right? I mean, rookie year, 1,100. He's got 1,000 each year, all right? His rookie year, I think he had the best average per catch, but he had 13.3. But still, I mean, at the end of the day, like Common said, he already solidified for the New York Jets that he is their number one guy, right? That's the guy that they got locked in for the next 3 to 4 years because he still has his rookie deal, his 2 years left on his rookie deal. So they got plenty of time to get him in the mix with Justin Fields for the next 2 to 3 years. They can get a nice connection developing with that RPO, because Justin Fields is not a horrible quarterback, right? That's why Pittsburgh was winning. They were 4-2. Did it look pretty? No. Was he gashing teams and throwing for 400 yards and 6 touchdowns? No. But he kept the chains moving. He got you in field goal range if you didn't score a touchdown. And you got solid defense, which I think the Jets can get back to having solid defense, right? They just got Sauce paid. What's the lineman?
Quinnen Williams.
Yeah. Yep. And the other DJ Reader is the other DB, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They got a solid DB tandem. You got yourself a lockdown one wide receiver. The running back, Breece Hall, I think is due for a breakout year. So all together, I think the Jets are going to come up, and this is a great direction or a great step towards the direction to go the right way. You know what I mean? So
Excuse me, but may I add something?
Sure.
Go ahead, Genius.
Because I like how you said that, because we actually, me and Bag also mentioned this in like early in our podcast before, where when you are in a situation like this, one of the biggest things, especially for your team, is that you got to learn when to not be satisfied. And what I mean by that is that I don't care if the Jets win by 7, 3, 10, just get a win. A win's a win. You know what I mean? So them having these leading roles and things like that, it's going to make a big change, because now you're going to have this target on their back, and it's going to show, can they really be consistent with what they got? Especially what you said with Justin Fields. It's going to show, can he have the leadership? Is he qualified for that starting QB leadership, or is he just a second role that you can put in just to give you a couple wins?
No doubt. And also, I think another step in the right direction was getting rid of Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers,
I agree.
I don't care what anybody says, he got Robert Saleh fired, right?
Oh, yeah.
An owner does not call the quarterback, and then the next phone call he has is to the head coach saying that you're fired, and those two have nothing to do with each other, right? Like that. What would anybody make you believe that if I got on the phone with Aaron Rodgers had a long discussion with him, and then immediately after I hang up the phone with him, I call Robert Saleh and tell him he's relieved of his duties. That those two phone calls don't correlate.
Yep.
That's just asinine. It's just
Yep.
asinine to believe that.
Yeah, ain't that much coincidence in the world.
You know what I mean? But yeah, how you feel, JB, about this?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. So I you know, I do like the move. I'm kind of like, I don't know, kind of sketched out saying like he necessarily deserved it just because of the other contract situations going on in the NFL right now with another player, with similar stats and 3 year span. So, um, but as far as like keeping the continuity with I mean they haven't got to play yet in the pros together, but in college they were, a tandem, part of a trio with Justin Fields. I think they're trying to really build up on something. And again, I mean I like it. It's time for him, like Common said, to take that next step, next level. You know what I mean, and move on to actually prove that he is worth it. And the same thing with Sauce, and I want to go back and revert to that really quick because what Josh said, you know, um, I don't think that, I agree. I don't think that necessarily he deserves to be top paid, but he deserves the check, probably. Top paid, obviously. I mean, I got to think, go with PS, but that's another thing. But I mean, let's just see what this guy can do with you know years to come and see if it actually pans out. You know what I mean? I wish we could talk about another subject too with that, but he'll be up here in a minute. Southgate's on his way.
So two, like they definitely are two of the three best players in the New York Jets, and the New York Jets have just locked them down, both of them for 4 years. So I mean, you're building stability, and you're keeping your core players and your best players around for the next 4 years. So I think the Jets are making good moves, and yeah, we'll revert back to that when Southgate but gets up here.
Can I ask Doug a question real quick?
Go ahead.
Doug, do you think it's put up or shut up for Justin Fields in these next 2 seasons that he have with the Jets? Or do you think that he'll get another chance to be a starter if it doesn't pan out?
Who? I didn't hear you.
I said, do you think it'll be, because I heard you say something about Fields, right? So I'm asking, do you think it'll be put up or shut up? Like he
For
has to
Justin
do
Fields.
something in the next 2 seasons, Fields? Or do you think if he just shows some flashes, he'll be a starter quarterback again?
Nah, he
Mm,
can't. He can't. He can't show flashes. Right. That's what he's been doing his whole career is just showing flashes. Right. But we'll see a good 2-3 games every couple years to where he looks like the full potential that he could be. Yeah, but yes, I agree. He has to. It's put up or shut up in the next 2 seasons. He's got a team-friendly deal, 2 years, $30 million. You're getting paid $15 million per season. You don't have anybody on your heels that's gonna, threaten to take your position, right? So you are the starting quarterback. All you got to do is just don't turn the ball over and put some points on the board. I think if you can do that, if the next 2 years, just hypothetically, say the next 2 years under the helm of Justin Fields, the New York Jets go 8-9 the first year, and then they go 10-7 the second year. I think that's positive steps, and I think that's enough, especially if they make the playoff on the 10-7 year, that he could earn himself a long-term deal. Will it break the bank and probably reset the market? Probably not, but it'll put him in a position to where he's familiar where he's at because he's already had 2 years in the system, and he's putting up decent numbers and winning games and making playoff berths. So that would revitalize his career. So it's absolutely put up or shut up.
I know it's real funny. that Justin Fields played for Pittsburgh, Aaron Rodgers played for the Jets. They both swapped teams, and they're both and they meet each other in week one. So you know what I mean? Like you couldn't. I just think that's funny.
Yeah.
All right, welcome Southgate to the podcast. Southgate, we just hit real quick on Sauce Gardner getting locked down for 4 years, 120.4 mil, making 30.1 mil a year. Garrett Wilson, he signed the 4 year deal, 130 mil, 90 million guaranteed. Do you want to just hit real quick on the Jets signing those two guys?
I think I think it was definitely worth it. I'm just laughing what Common said. Common, you couldn't script that any better, huh? The Jets and playing week one. I mean, it's kind of like one of A Train's wrestling shows at this point. The way they script that, but
Yeah, like Vince McMahon told him what to do. Like somewhere Vince McMahon was like, just writing it down, planning
The
it all
NFL knows
out.
what they're doing. The NFL did this when they did it with Peyton and Andrew Luck. They did it with, Russell Wilson going back to Seattle. They know what they're doing. They know how to schedule these primetime games, especially
Yeah.
early, to get interest from us. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. Manning the Colts and the Broncos, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, I just find it funny that they played this all out before he even considered about signing.
yeah,
That's
so
what's funny about it.
it actually goes to show you how far in advance they know what's going to happen. Aaron Rodgers
Yeah.
probably.
All right, since we're on the contract subject, I kind of want to just hit real quick on a couple more contracts. Juwan Jennings, he's making 7.5 mil a year, and he wants a new contract or he demands to be traded. This kind of puts the 49ers kind of in a bind right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they let Debo walk, right? Ayuk is not 100% healthy. We do not know when he's going to be on the field. So this kind of definitely puts the 49ers in a bind. And this has kind of been the story for the offseason is they keep getting put into a bind with these contracts, these players walking, wanting to get paid. So I just want your guys' opinion on Juwan Jennings. Southgate, I'll actually pitch it back to you first, and we'll go in reverse order. So Southgate, what's your opinion on Juwan Jennings?
Well, actually, to get a little more information because I've been working all day and this is the first I'm hearing about it. How much is he asking for?
That he just wants a new contract. So I'm assuming, if we look at the market, right, and we look at what people are getting, 7.5 isn't anything. So he wants more than that, right?
So he wants to get paid like a decent number two, I'm assuming.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably like a T. Higgins kind of deal, like a 22, 23,
Yeah,
but
so
for
That's
multiple
kind of a
years.
little bit much for a guy
yeah,
who's
I
the third
figured maybe
third
like 7.
receiver for his whole entire career.
Yeah, but he's the second.
Yeah, so I was thinking maybe like a step below T, like 17 to 20, somewhere in that range.
Right.
I mean, Juwan,
Shout out Juwan Jennings.
I would trade him and take a shot and see what Ricky's got, to be honest with you. I'm not looking to trade it. I'm not looking to give him no 17. I mean, if it's that much, I'm not looking to give him that much money, to be honest.
Yeah, they can't afford to. They can't afford to give him that.
That's. I mean, and I'm sure he's looking for at least a 3-4 year extension. So if you're talking 3 years, 55, 60 million, or even 4 years, 75, 80 million? No, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, at bare minimum, I'm thinking he's probably want at least 15 a year, and that's probably on the low end.
That's what I was kind of thinking back on the low end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that they can really afford it with some of the contracts that they're bound into and what they've been going with. I mean, with Brock Purdy's payment, didn't what's his face wide receiver didn't he just get paid too? And
Yeah.
then they got old boy Christian McCaffrey with his injury. Isn't he on a good contract as well? I mean, Kittle.
I mean, does anybody know how long Kittle is locked up for?
I think he just re-signed.
Yeah,
Okay.
he did.
Yeah, I'd have to check. Yeah, I think so though.
I think it's like 4 or 5 years.
Okay, so Brock Purdy, Brock Purdy has a 5-year contract extension valued at $265 million, 181 guaranteed, with 100 with 100 million at signing. Nick Bosa in 2023 got 5 years at $34 million a year. 115 of it is guaranteed. They pretty much, because they got rid of a couple people, like with Greenlaw, Afungo, Trent Williams. He re-upped his contract last year for like 3 years because he wanted guaranteed money. Yeah, they're spread kind of thin when it comes to salary.
DeForest Buckner when he went to the Colts.
Yeah. So Kittle.
Yeah, Kittle signed for 4 years, guaranteed. He signed for 4 years, $76.4 million contract. He's good through. He's locked up. He's locked up to them through 2029.
Yep.
And he had 40 million of that is guaranteed, and he has an annual salary of 19.1 million. So
yeah, and they got Fred locked up for the same amount of time for 63 million, 21 a year, 40 guaranteed at signing. So they listen. They're stretched on cap because, like you said, McCaffrey he's getting 19 a year. He's locked up until 2027.
Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk. He's from 2024 to 2028. He's locked up at 120 million overall, 30 a year, 45 due at signing. Shit, and Bryce Huff. I forgot about Bryce Huff.
Oh
Yeah, I didn't even think about him. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then he had Bosa.
Forever.
Yeah, this is his last year of his deal.
Forgot we
He had a
traded him there.
51 million guarantee, $51 million contract, 17 a year, and 34 million of the 51 is guaranteed.
Damn, now I think about it, that actually, ooh. I thought of a trade thing in my head, but I was like, I don't know if that will work. Because this is what I was thinking. Let me just add real quick. So, because I kind of thought, like, who would be the best teams he would go for? In my eyes, I honestly think if the 49ers are smart, because right now, how long has Juwan Jennings been in the league for? Again, about like what?
Well, it'll have
5?
to be 3 or more. It'll have to be 3 or more.
Yeah, I
years
was about to
since
say
he's
3,
being
5
out.
years, right?
Yeah,
That's
because he
why
wants a contract now.
if you're thinking about giving him that much money per year, that's where I was thinking, why don't you get a veteran and try to pay him for veteran money? That way it balances out, because instead of trying to develop him and getting into his next payday, you can give that to a veteran guy that genuinely has the experience and is consistent. My eyes would be probably someone like Keenan Allen. And I know that sounds crazy, but
The thing is,
I think he'll be consistent enough to fit that role.
Well, and
What do you feel about Ja?
This is the thing the Niners got into. Like the Niners, they had to release some guys on defense, right? They had to let Debo walk, and then they had to sign people, right? And this is I feel bad for John Lynch right now because he's shuffling all this stuff around, and it's like a rebuild, a reshuffle. I don't know. Ja, what do you got?
Well, wait, actually, 1 second. They have 50 million they carried over from last year.
Okay.
So it went from 280 to 330, their salary cap.
the problem is they put themselves in a situation. You put yourself in a situation where you give up the draft capital to go get Trevor. What is his name? Trey Lance. Once you do that, you kind of hinder yourself from ever getting fixed to make sure this is never really a situation. Also, Juwan Jennings isn't worth the contract that we're talking about he may get, nor is he, nor is do I think he should get the contract. The problem with that as well is they don't have leverage in the situation that they're not a receiver. They're very thin on receivers, so it's either pay him or trade him. And then you say a guy like Keenan Allen, as I've from everything I've seen so far, I could be wrong. Keenan Allen wants a 2 year, 2 or more year deal. And again, they're not in a situation to just they're not at liberty to just hand those out because of the situation that they put themselves in terms of cap. Yeah, I know you're saying that they have that. How much was it again, Southgate? That you said? That how
Uh,
much is it
I
that they
think he
have? You
said
said
about 50.
yeah, they carried
so.
over
50 million
50.
carried over.
Yeah.
So even though that carried over, it seems like you have money. In
Well,
reality,
they
we all know that business on the field,
30.
they don't really have it. You pay Brock Purdy, you pay Britton, you pay Trent. CMC's on a huge deal. Everybody's really locked in. So it's like your core guys are locked in. You just got rid of Devo, and Jawan Jennings is smart. He knows they have to have to pay him or get rid of him, and they don't want to get rid of him. So he put them in a situation where who knows, you know? I view him as the number three, but to start the season, he will be the number two. So they're in a very a sticky situation. And honestly, I wouldn't pay him. I'd trade him, but I don't know.
All right, I don't know. I don't want to hit too long on Jawan Jennings. I mean, I'm not moved by Jawan Jennings. He could ball out this year, but to me, he's a number two, a glorified number two. I mean, is he a true number
Ayuk
one?
scheduled to make 20.
All right,
No,
so I want
I
to
would.
go ahead, Southgate.
No, I'm just
I
saying
think
I
he's
wouldn't
having
call him
internet
number one.
issues.
I just wanted to say that Ayuk is scheduled to make 25 million this year.
And since I got you, Southgate, did you hear some more stuff on Scary Terry? You're like our Scary Terry guy, and you're following that contract really well. So, did you hear anything else with the Scary Terry deal?
He's very disappointed in the team. He stated today he's very disappointed that they have not negotiated his contract at all.
Okay, so we
I
got two
actually did hear
guys
about that.
disgruntled.
I did hear about that, and I actually can kind of
Common, you got something
understand
to
him.
say about that? You're A Train.
Oh, the Scary Terry deal. I mean, this to be
Yeah.
determined. It's to be determined. I mean, what the price range we're at right now? I think you know more on the number side, Southgate. I think he wants upwards of 30. What are we at? 33?
He wants 35. So if
35?
he worth $2.5 more million a year than Garrett Wilson.
So,
But I mean, with Garrett Wilson putting up the comparable numbers the last 3 years, I mean that in the contract dies and how that negotiation just happened, then that just says that Scary Terry is possibly worth that, does it not? I mean, that's been one of the biggest debates right now
I mean,
around NFL is if
But
he's worth that contract because in 3 years, Garrett Wilson's been in the league. His numbers are very comparable or side by side, Scary Terry.
yeah, that's true. However, you got to look at it as Scary Terry's 30 and Garrett Wilson is going into his fourth season. So one is young, one is older. And it's not the main thing we're looking at is the money. It isn't so much the money. He wants a long-term deal. And they aren't willing. It's looking like they're reluctant in giving him a long-term deal with that money because he's an older receiver. So it's more or
well,
less what he's asking for more than just the money. It's everything around.
I mean, all right. My biggest issue is, guys, I'm sorry. I know I'm having some internet problems. It's a question for A Train. A Train, you there?
yes, sir.
All right. So let's just say Terry gets paid 35, and
Okay.
let's say Cortland Sutton balls out this year and has 90 catches, 1,200 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Do you want to pay Cortland Sutton $33 million a year?
And this is what we looked up before, Southgate. Like his production has been upwards of Scary Terry and
Yes.
Garrett Wilson, and he gets overlooked quite a bit. And yes, there's injuries. There's this is barring a lot of things happening, but when you're up there with the names of Garrett Wilson and you're up there with the names of Scary Terry, I feel like that kind of puts you up in that upper echelon to where you probably deserve the money. You know what I mean?
Well, actually, Bag. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Gate.
I mean, would you pay a Scary Terry or a Colin Sutton that much money if you were Baltimore?
Well, see, Baltimore, no. Baltimore, we're not going to pay. We don't pay that kind of money for receivers,
No, I
unfortunately.
know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean,
I
obviously,
mean,
Scary
for the
Terry. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. If I was the GM, I'd pay both of them, right? If they're because it's consistency. That's what I want to pay. That's what I'm paying for. That's one thing I do know is Scary Terry is consistent.
And they both stay relatively healthy.
So the
Absolutely.
problem with Scary Terry at this point, he will be getting paid of what he can do up in the future, not for what he has done. So because he's older, they're going to be paying him for what we think you can do later on in your career rather than what you will do now.
You're
And
right.
if and looking at it, he's in his 30s. He's gonna be, he's gonna be in his 30s. And if you give him the 4-year deal, he'll be ending contract around 34, 35.
You
So
don't believe he can
Yeah.
continue?
honestly, I mean, I hope so, but I don't at 34, 35, no, I don't think he would.
Well, I
I
mean,
think
So,
he.
like,
35.
That'll
That's
be
at
his
the end of the
midpoint.
contract. That's at the end of
Right.
the contract. We're
yeah,
talking
but I
if
think
he signs
somewhere
the
in the
deal
middle,
now. My bad.
I,
Go ahead.
I think somewhere in the middle he will is where like,
Okay.
Well,
so let's say
well,
he signed it now, right? He has this year on the contract. This don't count. I believe he has one more year after this year, and then he'll have the next couple of seasons. I don't see when the contract kicking in him being just one of the top 10 receivers throughout the duration of the contract, and that's what they're looking at.
I thought they only had one more
all
year.
right. Well,
That's why he wanted the deal.
Hey, Tina's had a something he wanted to hit on this as well, really quick, A-Train.
No, what I
I
was
just want to say one thing. Sorry. My thing is, I just want to see because Garrett Wilson's kind of younger. Do you think Scary Terry has it in him to be a 13, 1,400 yard receiver?
Um, sure. Yeah, I don't see why not.
I could
I think
say maybe close to 1,300, but not probably there.
I think he
Now,
So
would have
do
I'm
done it.
sorry, Bag, you was right. You was right though. I don't think he's a 1300 receiver because he's never shown he's a 1300 receiver
he's
consistently.
not. Now, do I
Are we
think he'll
talking
get
about
close to
Scary
that?
Terry or Garrett Wilson? I
Scary
thought he
Terry.
said
Scary,
Garrett Wilson.
scary,
No,
scary,
Scary
scary.
Terry.
Okay. Well, Scary
I think
Terry, I
Garrett
mean,
Wilson can get there.
yeah, I
Not
think
real
Garrett
familiar.
Wilson can be a 13, 1400
Yeah.
receiver because
I think Scary can do it. I think that with where he's been with these lower tier quarterbacks, and I understand he was also younger in his career, at that point in time. But I think with the better quarterback play and everything like that, I think he could. I think he can jump up there, especially with 2 years under their belt of being on the same page and everything like that. I think he could do it.
Well, that and look what he's done with that team. I mean, yeah, okay, I get it. With Jaw's standpoint, you're not going to look at what he has done. But if you really look at it, he has done a lot for the team. He really has. Being and having to deal with multiple quarterbacks like Sam Howell, Tyler Heineke, now Jalen Daniels. We don't know how that guy's going to do next year. So, with that being said, if you're consistently putting out these numbers 900, 1,000, 11, 1,200, you're still being solidified as this wide receiver one. Yeah, me as a player, I'm going to want that money because it's what I have done and it's what I'm expected to do. However, with Garrett, it is a very different conversation because he's young and because he's already proven that standard from the open gate. Terry had to develop himself to be that. It's not the same.
yeah,
So
I
I
mean,
do get that conversation very
So
much so,
both
but
have
I think
never
he
put
does
up
deserve
12.
it.
Both have never went over 1,200 or more.
that's true.
Both have never did 1,200 or more, not have had 1,200 more yards. And Garrett Wilson has had 100 receptions in a year, and Scary Terry has never had over, what was it, 80? I want to say. Yeah, he's never
I
had
mean,
over 80. He's never had at least 90.
Yeah,
And
he's
he's
the most he's ever had was 87.
Yep, in 2020, and he's consistently getting over 120 targets a year. Now,
Yeah.
granted, I know targets are, I could just throw the ball anywhere around
But
you.
hold on, but Ja, I
But
don't mean to interrupt, but you also got to remember the quarterbacks that are throwing these. Okay, like that has a lot to play into it. That's why.
you're
That's
right.
why even though he's not cracking over 11, 1200 on a consistent basis, the reason why he's like at the bottom of the top 10 is because the lack of quarterback play where he's playing at and the production that he's doing it with, right?
I can understand what you're saying. However, we all know, right? If your quarterback is throwing, it's top three in yards, right? Top threes in yards instead of passing. Good or not, that means as the number one, you're getting a whole lot of balls thrown your way. Pause. A whole lot of balls thrown your way. And honestly, he didn't make the. I'm not gonna say he didn't make the most of it. Yet, but your quarterback being top three in yards and you only have 1,100, it's kind of, you know, worrisome. It's, you know,
All right, I think this is a good time, like, to just move on because when Scary Terry gets this deal or does not get this deal and gets dealt, that we'll hit more on that later. Um, I'd like to move on to something that Bag hit on earlier, and that is some of the rookies, first and second rounders, not signing. Now, Bag, uh, I know you hit on two teams. I think you said it was the Texans and the Browns have signed their second round picks. Outside of them, is that all that's been signed?
Yeah, so
no.
yet again, uh, just like a couple years ago when they made a trade and, when it came to contracts, the Cleveland Browns and the Houston Texans are back at it again to try to set a new precedent in the NFL when it comes to contracts. First, it was the Deshaun Watson fully guaranteed, and the next thing you know, Lamar Jackson and all the Jalen Hurts, all the guys after him, all wanted fully guaranteed. The NFL said, no, sir, not happening. They colluded and told all the NFL owners, we are not doing any more fully guaranteed contracts for quarterbacks. Nip it in the bud now. So, okay, fast forward in the 2020-25 draft. Excuse me. We have two second round draft picks that have signed guaranteed contracts. One is Jaden Higgins for the Houston Texans, and excuse me, I might butcher his name, but it's a linebacker for the Cleveland Browns, Carson Swishenser, or something
Yeah,
like
something
that.
like that. Yeah.
From UCLA. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so they both signed their contracts, which now the other 30 second round draft picks are, I don't know if they're coming collectively and are going to hold out until everybody gets their contract signed, or just individually people are going to hold out and work and try to get their deal guaranteed. But yes, they're trying to set a new precedent because maybe this is the first time, I believe, where second round picks, their contracts are guaranteed. And the reason why the owners don't want to do this is because if you do it for the second rounders, right, then the third rounders are going to start, and it's going to start a chain reaction. And then next thing you know, every draft pick that has been drafted is going to want their contract guaranteed, or at least some of it. And the problem with that is the NFL owners don't want that, because when you sign a guaranteed contract, you have to put that money in escrow. So they have to go get liquid and put cash into an escrow account in order for that basically to cover the contract, because it's guaranteed. And I don't know how this is going to affect going into the season, but it's not looking good, guys. Not looking good at all.
It's not looking good at all. And it's
Excuse
29
me, but
back.
I
There's
had a
there's
question.
one other team that has a rookie signed, a second round pick signed, but he's not fully guaranteed. Andrew Makuba is signed.
Ooh, what team
Makuba,
is that?
Eagles. We signed our second round pick.
Okay. Okay. See
I don't
how
know
he's
if that was
smart.
So some
before
of
the
them are getting
Browns and them
signed.
did it. I don't know if that was before the Browns did what they did or after, or well, Browns and Texans. I just know Makuba signed.
Okay.
My bad for interrupting, but I had a question, Bag.
What's up?
What I was gonna ask you is do you know exactly what's the percentage of that gross per year, or is that like per like how does that like pan out is what I'm asking. Like is that per every few weeks, every few months, a year? How does that gross come about?
For which part? The second their contract, the second rounders
Yes,
contract.
yeah, the electronic contract part, yeah.
So from my knowledge, like Jaden Higgins, I think his because he was drafted 34th overall, high in the second round. He's a more expensive second round contract. So I think his for all 4 years, I believe it's maybe $9.5 million. So I guess you would divide that by four. That's almost 2.5 per year. I mean, then like I said, when anything is that's guaranteed has to be put in escrow. So the owner for the Houston Texans would have to put that 9.3 or 9.5 of liquid cash into an escrow account in order for that to cover. Now, whatever that breaks down to on a 17-week basis of how he gets paid, I don't know the exact number, but it's they get paid weekly.
All
So
right, we'll hit more on that once.
wait, I just want to ask Ben one question.
Excuse me, Bag. I'm sorry, but I'm getting I looked it up. It's two different things. It's some reports saying he signed, there's some reports saying he's not signed. So for the safe side, let's just say he's not, and it's 30. It's under 30.
Okay.
So big in the past, uh, second round, not guaranteed, or they were fully guaranteed in past years.
And they weren't. They weren't.
Okay, so now they're fully guaranteed.
Yeah, that's what the Houston Texans and the Cleveland Browns did.
Okay,
All right, so I want to move on, guys, because we are at the 45-minute mark. Um, that we hit on all the contract stuff. We hit on people getting the bag, no pun intended. And we are going to move on to off the field issues. Now, on this first topic, I don't want to dig too far into this because the Not Move podcast does not condone any kind of domestic violence whatsoever. But the Browns rookie Judkins got a little domestic violence case, and he is definitely facing some charges, and it's definitely a warning sign when you sign your second round rookie and he is arguably going to be their starting running back. What do you guys think about the rookies already getting into trouble? Yeah, Common, you got anything on that?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You was going in. It was broke up. I just heard you
Uh,
say comment.
Yeah, so Judkins, the rookie running back out of the Browns, he got a domestic violence charge just a couple days ago. What are your thoughts on rookies getting into trouble already before starting the season?
Um, that's not a good sign. I mean, I don't know the details of the case. You know, it could be it could be a disgruntled girlfriend. It could have been blown out of proportion. He could be a jerk. You know what I mean? I don't really have the facts on it to speak on it, but I do know that uh, from a coaching standpoint and from uh, uh, being the head of an organization like I am, even though regardless of whether or not it's a youth, just as an organization standpoint, it's never a good look when a first he's not even a first year player because he hasn't even done anything yet. So it's not even a first year player. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't he hasn't even had his helmet, shoulder pads, and pants on all at the same time yet. And yet you're in the news for something negative. That's never that no that that's never a good look. I put that it's never a good look. And you know, I wish the man the best. I mean, I'm hoping that it is a misunderstanding, and he can rise above it and move on. But it's never a good look when when your boss is hearing your name for the wrong reason. You just started your job. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's never a good.
Yeah, I definitely wanted your opinion on that. I mean,
Yeah,
you lead an organization. If you had, a young kid that got into something like that and when got around, like it's not a good look, right?
it's not a good look. Or if I have a first year coach, that's just starting out and he gets into something with a parent or something and he hasn't even hit the field yet, nah, it's never a good look. It's like I said, it's never a good look when your boss hears your name and you just started the job. And it's for a negative, right? And it's for a negative. Like that's never a good. That's never a good look, ever.
Well,
Like nobody, no matter how you slice it.
the sad thing was he wasn't even signed yet.
What makes it even sadder is he's asked for fully guaranteed money.
No, well, what happened was the NFL made him sign a 1 year, $3 million contract with only 1.17 million guaranteed, I believe, because he's probably going to get suspended because they said there is video footage.
Can I add something to this?
Like I said, let's not hit too much on this. Just be quick on this one.
I'm gonna try to be quick, but I can't promise it. Saying to myself as an
No, you
Ohio
need to be
State
quick
fan,
on this, Tines. You need to be quick on this.
but I'll try to be as quick as possible. Honestly, it's a disappointing factor to me. Seeing this guy play as an Ohio State fan, it kind of actually breaks my heart seeing a guy like this because it's never a good sign. Whether it's from a reputation as a player, a person, it's not a great thing starting out. It's really not. And honestly, if I was Cleveland, I don't like saying this, but I would cut him. I would cut him because you don't ever want to take that risk. You don't know what's going on. You literally just walked in, stepped into the door, and you already got baggage. Like, I don't know where that's been. It's like me trying to grab someone else's pair of shoes.
All right. Anyone
Mm,
else want to hit on this one real quick
Yeah.
before I move on?
Real quick, JB, you want to go first?
Yeah. So what I think of that is like you said, not move doesn't stand with that kind of stuff. And but the thing is like, and either does the Chiefs, dude. Like, we go back to Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt had an incident and the Chiefs cut him as soon as he lied to him. Now the thing is you go back and look, Cleveland, they went and picked him up shortly after that happened. So to me, I mean, it seems that Cleveland just doesn't. I mean, you look at the guys that Cleveland's brought in the last couple of years, going back to Kareem Hunt, Deshaun Watson. You tell me that they don't stand by that kind of stuff.
How many chances did they give Josh Gordon?
But that's because he couldn't
I'm
stop.
pretty sure it was like three or four.
Josh Gordon's whole situation, and I'm gonna try to do the Stephen A as best as possible, but he couldn't stay off the weed. So it's kind of different.
Yeah, that's not comparable.
You cannot
Yeah.
compare that at all, Ja.
I know I said that's Josh Gordon's situation. I was just telling him
Yeah,
about
I
Josh
know.
Gordon.
Like I said, like this is a touchy subject that I don't want to dig too deep into. Anybody got any last minute things before I move on? Because like I said, I don't really want to. I don't want to glorify this guy that just did this, and we don't know the details. There's video, like Southgate said. There's video evidence. Doesn't look good. Looks like the Ray Rice situation. Anyone else want to hit on it real quick before I move on to the next topic?
Just real quick, just to finish it off. Just to go more or less on what Tina said, I wouldn't cut him following them until I know all the details. Also, oh man, he's not even signed. He hasn't gotten into the building. He hasn't even done anything. He's already. It's just bad. Like I don't want to speak on it too much because I don't know anything. But it just doesn't look good.
Like I said, maybe we shouldn't speak on it too much. I'd like to move on just because I don't want to speak on this too much because we don't know the details. We don't want to speak on something we don't know. I don't like talking about something I don't really know about and the details of it. So I feel like this is a touchy situation. We should probably just move on to. We had another off-season issue, and it was on the 4th of July. And this is involving Commons' former running back, Najee Harris, had a firework incident that injured him. And Common, I definitely wanted to dig into what you thought about Najee's 4th of July incident.
Yeah. So, well, one thing that is positive is not a Pierre Paul that's who lost the fingers, right? Wasn't it Pierre Paul?
Yep.
Yeah. So it wasn't a Pierre Paul incident. Najee was at an event. Okay, he was at an event where there was a firework mishap, where there was quite a few injuries to a couple of attendees. All right, so that's the good thing. He wasn't the one playing with the fireworks, right? He was at an event in which there was a unfortunate accident, and from what I understand, his injuries are minor, and he will, you know what I mean, be able to attend training camp, and they see no problem with, you know what I mean, him moving forward in the season. But, you know, just a little fun fact. Najee couldn't see a hole before the accident, and, you know what I mean, to his eyes. So I wish the man the best, because if you couldn't see a hole before you had an incident with your eyes, what's gonna happen now? You know what I mean? But yeah, but for, like I said, for the most part, he'll be good to go for the season.
Anybody else want to hit on this topic before we move on?
I mean,
Yeah, I
if
just want to say a little bit. My fault, Southgate.
he had nothing to do with lighting them, then it's really not his fault. I mean, something flies out of the air and hits you. That's just bad luck.
Yeah, it was.
Um,
It was just a freak accident, Southgate. From what I understand, it was like I said, it was a freak accident. He was at a 4th of July function where it was a unfortunate accident, and a couple, more than one, it was more than him that got injured. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? In the accident. So, you know, it wasn't him playing with the fireworks or trying to show off or doing anything immature. He was just wrong place at the right time.
I wouldn't hold on against him.
yeah, I don't hold it against him. My whole thing is, from reports, it looks more like smoke got in his eyes than the fireworks, right, Common? When it's like smoke
Well,
got
yeah,
into it, right?
when they said like debris, smoke, you know, it's something, I mean, was an irritation. I don't think it was any like I said, they said they were superficial. You know what I mean? He was attended to and released. You know what I mean? So it didn't. None of the reports said anything about follow ups or any types of surgery or anything serious. Like they said, he should be good to go when training camp starts in a couple of weeks. They said he'll be there, you know, and ready to push forward.
Okay, now I just want that clarification. So as long as it was smoke or like debris and stuff, he'll be good. He probably just have to like keep anything from getting his eye, and probably I can't remember who was talking about it, but there was a basketball player who said like they had to sleep face down for a couple of days whenever they had a like eye problem, stuff like that. So other than that, I think he'll be good. I think the Chargers, though, if I was the Chargers, I'll get another back just in case it is bought. It's worse than I think. That's about it, though. I just think if I was them, that's what I would do.
All right. Anybody else want to put some last
Yeah,
comments on Najee Harris and the fireworks situation?
no, but I'm glad he touched on that, because that was in something I read, that, you know, it's a good, they were saying that it's a good thing that that it is superficial, because if he was to have to miss any time, they would have to lean on their rookie who they just drafted, and they haven't had in San Diego. I'm sorry, my bad. Old school, blaming on the age. The LA Chargers wouldn't they haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher since 2017, since Melvin Gordon rushed for 1,100. So they might have had a little nervousness, but I mean I think they exhale now and they breathe easy, knowing that they're superficial wounds and everything is good. But yeah, like Josh said, if they did draft a running back, and if they had to lean on him, it would be a rookie. So that might hinder their offensive game plan for a minute if he was to have to sit out. Just to
And
point that out.
another not a good look, right? Like, you're making millions of dollars. Can someone else light the firework? Like, and the Steelers gave up on you, right? The Steelers decided to move in a different direction, right? And you making off-season news isn't the best, especially when they draft a running back in the first round, right? Marion Hampton's stock just went up, especially in fantasy, I feel like. And you got to start taking this stuff seriously, in my opinion. Anybody else want to any more comments on this before I move on?
Amarion was a second round pick, I believe, and he's also unsigned at this current moment. He's a second round pick and he's unsigned at this current moment.
Nah, Hampton was their first round pick.
He was their
He
first round
was?
pick.
Oh wait, who they
Yes, he
drafted a
was.
second now? I thought it was a receiver.
No, he was the first round pick.
North Carolina.
It was the
Yeah.
end of the first round.
Okay,
He
you're
was
right, you're
he
right.
was
My
the
fault.
20 he was the 22nd
Okay,
overall
I
pick.
apologize. I misspoke.
Oh, don't sound casual, Jaw. You have to own that.
I said my apologies. I misspoke. I said
You better
apologies.
start doing some more research here.
That's
And I
20
used the
Nah,
word
push-ups.
but
I believe. I also said I believe.
I
All
think
right, I'm just
I
messing with you, Jaw.
I think Amari Hampton should start from the jump, right? Like I think because you got Najee Harris pretty cheap. I think it was a 1-year deal, if I'm not mistaken, right? Right, Common?
That is correct.
Yeah. So it's not like they gave him a long-term deal. So I mean, if anything, I would just, especially now that this injury came upon, like I understand it's superficial, but I would want to give the reps to my young guy anyway, right? I mean, because I think if you give him the bulk of the carries, I mean, he can fuck around and rush for 1,200, 1,300 yards, 1,400 yards, right? Like Greg Roman is one thing I can say. I might not like his passing concept of how he puts his passing routes together and the spacing in between, but when it comes to rushing, oh, he is a top 10, top 5 rushing coordinator every year. Every year, he's in the top 10. Even last year, they were in the top 10 with J.K. and Gus Edwards. Same thing he did in Baltimore, right? With Gus Edwards and J.K. Used the duo and rushed for over 3,000 yards almost, right? Damn near every year. So I think Amari Hampton needs to get a lot of the touches early.
All right, boys.
Well,
So since we're hitting the hour mark, we just hit the hour mark. I just kind of want to move on to what we're advertising for this week. We're breaking down our top 5 quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, MVP hopefuls, and disappointments. I think this is pretty easy. Quarterbacks, I'm going Patrick Mahomes until someone proves otherwise. I'm going Lamar Jackson number 2, Josh Allen number 3, Joe Burrow number 4, and Jalen Hurts number 5. That's just my Stafford. I feel like Stafford could definitely battle with Jalen for that number 5 spot, but this is a quick list I made. I think it's going to be the Ravens' year. I'm putting Lamar at 2. I think he's probably going to I think he's going to do it this year. So anybody want to break into a top 5 real quick or critique mine real quick?
Yeah, I mean, my top 5 is pretty, basically the same. You know what I mean? It's the same. It's going to be the same. Like, I can only go off of last year, so it's going to be the same, right? You know what I mean? It's Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, Burrow, Stafford. You know what I mean? And like I said, until they give me a body of work for this year, I can only go off what it was last year. And last year, these were the top 5 QBs. So You know, only way, like I said, the only way all talking has to be done on the field, right? Do all your talking on the field. You know what I mean? Do all your yelling on the scoreboard. That's just what it is. So we'll have to see if anything changes. But as of right now, as of the start, it is what it is. It's unavoidable. Like you can't avoid it. And just for anybody that's out that might be listening, no, I'm not putting Jalen Daniels in my top 5 because he's only played for 1 year. So just in case you're wondering, no Jalen Daniels, no, there will be no Jalen Daniels in my top 5, in my top 10, in my top anything until he plays for at least 3 years. That's just how I do my my rankings. Okay. Well, I'll pass it to T-Nez.
I mean, I pretty much have the same top 5 list as what A Train has. But the only one I probably would say is very close is, like you said, A Train, Matthew Stafford. I mean, that guy has been very, very extremely consistent. But if I had to throw in probably top disappointing moment for me right now, it's probably to the fact of how the Saints QB locker room is looking. Dear Lord, sweet Jesus. I'm sorry, but having the thoughts of either Spencer Rattler or Tyler Shaw coming in, that it's just a yikes for me. Though, Southgate, I'm gonna toss you a drag. Catch it.
Goes the jaw. Yeah, Southgate, you don't mind.
I got
So, oh, my fault.
oh, sorry, go.
My exact same top 5 as A Train, like exact same. I also believe that I have the Ravens making it to the Super Bowl this year. I just think you look at Lamar, I think this year Lamar actually locks in. And instead of trying to change the game in the playoffs, he tries to manage it. And that's the key. That's the key factor on getting them there. It's just that. And when you talk about disappointments, I don't have a player so much as being a disappointment, but I have it being
Hold
the
on.
Commanders and some fact that because of their defense.
We're doing the top 10 quarterbacks right now.
Oh, we're only doing
Top
players?
five.
All right, my apologies.
Yeah, we're doing
Okay.
the top
My
five, top
apologies
five
then.
quarterbacks, top 5 quarterbacks. Everybody goes through. We're gonna do the top 5 running backs, top 5 receivers, disappointments, MVPs. Like
All
TNS, you're
right,
jumping
so
all over the place.
My bad.
I mean we all were, but it's not just you, Tina's. I apologize as well. So for MVP, honestly, I got Mahomes this year. I think Mahomes had the bounce back year, and his receivers stay healthy, and offense stays healthy, and I have Mahomes winning MVP this year.
All right, let's go quick. Bag, what do you think of the top 5? Would you change anything?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much the same order except at the end. I'm no longer giving Joe Burrow this praise for making the Super Bowl in 2021. He doesn't get to uh, have his spot solidified where people rank him at, because when ESPN put their list out this morning, they still have him at number 3 above Lamar Jackson, which I find very disrespectful. Lamar Jackson has not only does he have 2 MVPs, but he has 3, maybe 4 All Pros as well. And Joe Burrow does not have 1. He has no All Pros. He only has Pro Bowls. Okay, so when we talk about your spot being solidified, I can't do it, especially because you missed the playoffs the last 2 years. I know it was due to injury, some of it, but also the best ability is availability. So I can't just sit back and say, you know what, you're solidified and you're not going to move out the ranking. In the last 3 years, Jalen Hurts has done more and played better consistently than Joe Burrow. So for that reason, I have Burrow at 5 and Jalen Hurts at 4. So it's Patty, Lamar, Allen, Hurts, Burrow.
Southgate?
I have Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lamar, Stafford, and Hurts.
All right, close this out, JB. You good with that list, or you want to change anything?
Yeah, I got Mahomes, Allen, Lamar. I agree with Bag, man. I'm kind of moving Burrow out of that top five for the exact same reasons. So I kind of got to put. I know like he's been doing that, doing his thing and everything like that. But like Bag said, man, he hit on it, and dude's accolades aren't really showing. And just because he got to the Super Bowl, I mean, nobody was really sitting there saying anything when Hurts got to the Super Bowl and didn't win it. I mean, you lost. Um, so I got to put Stafford up in there, and man, I mean, mm, I don't know. I mean, I guess an honorable mention would have. I mean, I don't know, man. Mahomes. Let's see. We're gonna go Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, Stafford, and mm, mm, I mean, mm, I guess Burrow can get five and maybe Hurts could be peeking in on that fifth with a good season this year, but I need to see more passing on top of what he's doing.
That's fair.
I
Let's move
and I
on
just
to
want to add one thing, A Train.
Go ahead.
The reason why I got Burrow at 2 is because even though I know we're Bronco fans, Kansas City didn't start their starters for us to get into the playoffs. And I tell you this right now, not one team in the playoffs would want to see Burrow getting in there.
Well, you and Bag can fight over that all season because you got
Yeah.
Burrow at 2 and he has Burrow at 5. So you and Bag can fight about that all season. Any last
No, I
comments before I
respect
move on
Bag.
to
I
running
don't know
backs?
that. It's just no, I'm okay.
I know you're a big Joe fan, so I'm just giving you crap, Southgate. All right, so running backs, I have Derrick Henry number 1, Saquon Barkley number 2, I have Josh Jacobs number 3, Jameer Gibbs number 4, and Bijan at number 5. Just a quick rundown why I gave that list in that order. Bijan, Atlanta needs to know how to use him. That's why he's at 5. Gibbs, split backfill. He's going to share carries with Montgomery, so that's why I have him at 4. Jacobs, I have him at 3. Barkley at 2. Henry at 1. King Henry, he's breaking into that top 10. Derrick Henry is probably going to be the 7th or 8th best running back of all time after this season, I think personally. Go ahead, pitch it to Common. You want to critique my list, or you want to?
Yeah, well, no, your list is my list, except for, right? Except for, I have Bijan at 4, okay? I have Bijan at 4, and I have Kyron Williams / Jonathan Taylor, depending on if he stays healthy at 5. And reason being is because we've seen what Jonathan Taylor can do when healthy, okay? And that offensive line in Indianapolis is ridiculous. I mean, let's just be honest. Is it top 3, top 5? You know what I mean? So running back behind the top 3, top 5 line is dangerous, especially healthy. And I think Williams is about to be, another dual threat. Not maybe 1,000, but 1,000. I'll say 12, 1,300, and 17. I mean it's 7. I mean 12, 1,306 out of the backfield. So I got them right now. You know what I mean at 5 together because I don't want to lean towards Williams. You know what I mean? And I don't want to lean too much towards Taylor because I don't really know how he's come off the injury. But I feel as though when the smoke clears, it's going to be one of those two.
Tines.
This is a close one, honestly, because I like the 1 and 2. I think Derrick Henry is gonna be probably a top 8, top 7 running back as well. after his career's over. 3 is probably a switch up, probably is where it kind of changes up for me. Because personally, me, I have Jameer 3, I have Bijan 4, and Jonathan 5. The only reason why I leave Josh Jacobs out is because he is a lot older now. And considering how much Jameer has done with the age he has been doing it in, is very impressive. And yeah, okay, I get it, the whole split back deal. But at the same time, Montgomery is becoming a lot more older. And I feel like Jameer Gibbs with that is going to have a lot more. Oh, wait. Did you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. They said my battery was low. But I feel like that it would be a very much less margin than a lot of people think it would be. Now, with Bijan and Jonathan Taylor, I think both of them are very excellent backs. I think both of them are very great at gap scheme, both very great in the zone scheme. But what I love about those two is more so their vision, the way they cut, the way they can break off of 3, 4 people. It's something we really haven't seen in quite a long time, consistently coming from a lot more running backs. And I'm really liking this more downhill movement that we're starting to see. So I very much like it, those two.
All right, moving on, Ja, quickly.
So, you don't have to answer this now, Colin, but I have a question about Kyron Lacy. I'll ask him when everybody's done. But my top five is kind of similar to a lot of y'all's. I have Saquon 1 though, Derrick Henry 2, Josh Jacobs 3. I have B. John at 4, and then I have at 5. I have JT. Just the simple fact that JT's healthy. You cannot, in my personal opinion, you can't tell me he's not a top 5 back when healthy. And I don't have CMC in my top 5 currently because honestly, with the injuries in his knee and everything, I don't know if he's gonna play, how much he's gonna play, everything. So until I see him play, I can't put him in my top 5.
Bag.
Yeah, I got the same as yours, A Train. I got Derrick Henry 1, Saquon 2, Josh Jacobs 3, Jameer Gibbs at 4, and Bijan at 5. And the honorable mention would be Jonathan Taylor, but like I do the same thing I do for my quarterback is equity, right? I mean, come on, man, you got to do at least 2-3 years in the league before I can put you up in the upper echelon. In the last 2 years, that Bijan and Jameer Gibbs have been well enough to get into that top 5 position. So that's where I stand.
All right, Southgate, real quick.
I have the same thing as Big. I'm just taking out Jacobs and putting in Jonathan Taylor.
Okay, a lot of JTs popping up in there. All right, JB.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. So A Train, our list is exactly the same, except I have the last two Gibbs and Bijan swap. So I have Gibbs at 4 and Bijan, or no, I'm sorry. I have Bijan at 4 and Gibbs at 5, right? Reason being, you said that, Gibbs, they need to, or not Gibbs, but Bijan, they need to figure out how to use him and, split backfield with, or they need to know how to use Bijan. But my thing is this Gibbs is split the backfield and it's not full time. You know what I mean? He's used in many other ways and he's off the field more. I don't know. That's why I'm going with that part and swapping those two. But everything else, we hit right on.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. You can interchange those two. All right, let's move on to
Yeah.
wide receivers real quick. Like I said, we're at the hour 18 mark, so I kind of want to speed this up a little bit.
Hey, Trey, I just wanted to hit on one thing about the running backs real quick, if I could, please.
Go ahead.
Okay. The reason, if I just wanted to answer any questions out there and give it context. The reason Gibbs is not in my top 5 is because I need to see what he does with a new offensive coordinator, and most importantly, he has a new center. So a new center coming into the mix of an offensive line can mess up timing. You know what I mean? Mess up blocking assignments, can mess up holes. So I need to see what he does there first. And so, yeah, that's why I just wanted to hit on that real quick.
All right, John, did you have a
my
question
reason.
before I go to wide receivers?
Yeah, I had a question. So, Kyron Williams, right? His fumbling situation doesn't concern you
No,
because
no. See,
he's pretty fumble
that,
prone.
no. Listen, holding on to the ball. What holding on to the ball is a problem, right? It is a problem. However, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt as a man trying to perfect his craft, and I see him working on that all off season. So I feel as though it's going to be a very big I feel it's going to be a very significant difference in him losing the ball this season.
All right. Anything else before I go to wide receivers? All right, I'm going to wide receivers. I got Chase. Chase and Jettas are 1A, 1B. I like Jettas a little bit more, so I'm gonna go Jettas, Chase, CD Lamb, AJ Brown. And 5 was the tricky one for me. I was interchanging Puka and Scary Terry. I think I'm gonna just stick with Puka. Common?
Hey yo, get out of my head, A-Train. Get out of my head, dog. Get out of my head. Because yo, it's crazy because I was going back and forth between St. Brown and Puka. And then I thought about it. The same reason Gibbs ain't on my running back list is because I need to see what he does behind the offensive coordinator in his line. So I need to see I need to see what kind of time Goff has. And I need to see, how St. Brown responds to the new OC. So with all that, that's what kept him off the list. And then with the addition of Adams over there, I just think Puka's about to ball the boop out. Like for
I do
real,
too.
I really do.
Yeah, I
So
do. I'm high
yeah,
on Puka this year.
yeah. So get out of my head, A-Train.
All right, Tinez, what would you change?
Honestly, I don't think I would change a single cent of it. You said it perfectly. Honestly, I feel like Puka is going to very much ball out, and it's why I have him in the top 5. With next year having Devontae Adams and already learning from him, it's going to be a very, very great chemistry. And honestly, with Jamar and Jay Jettas both putting career high numbers and seeing them at their primes right now, I mean, these are probably 2 of the greatest receivers we're probably going to see in this era for a pretty long time, honestly. So I'm excited to see how they're going to perform throughout their career. I really much am.
All right, Ja.
So I got 2 switching, and it's mainly the AJ Brown. I have AJ Brown at 3, CD at 4. Also, I'm sorry, I might not be the biggest fan, but I have Amon-Ra St. Brown at 5.
I don't hate it.
I just do.
I don't hate it. Bag?
No, but I smell some bias around that 3-4 spot. I'm just, I mean, I gotta
I was
stop
just
them
going to
nose. I
say
gotta
that.
stop them
It's
nose.
I
personal
don't
I
see
preference.
gotta
It's
how.
stop
personal
them nose.
preference.
I'm gonna take me a hog. But I smell me some bias around that 3-4 spot. Just,
So it's just
I don't
personal
know.
Eagles fan
I don't
preference.
know.
alert.
So it's just a personal preference personally. I value someone who constantly gets double teamed and is forced to, work with that over someone who isn't. That's just a personal thing.
All right, Bag, what do you got?
I'm on the same page as Ja. Like for real. Number 1, I got Jettis. 2, Chase. 3, AJ Brown. 4, CD. And then for me, I ain't look. Y'all might not think that it's still warranted, but I still like Devontae Adams, my guy. Right? Like I understand he didn't have the greatest year last year, but when it comes to just still being able to produce at a high level and still get open, bro, he still got one of the best route running techniques in the game, son. So to see him in LA with Matthew Stafford and Puka, like what as a defensive coordinator, what side are you shading and bracketing?
So, Bags, you see him taking the number 1 spot from Puka?
I think it's given. It's already took. Like I mean, me personally, I think, as like I just asked that, as a defensive coordinator, you're gonna bracket Devontae Adams' side before Puka, right?
Well, it all depends. If I'm going off the last couple of years of body of work, no, I'm going to blanket Puka.
Okay. I mean,
I mean, just think about it. Just think about it.
no, I believe you. I believe you. And if that's the case,
Yeah, like you said it yourself. You know, the last couple of years he hasn't been himself. He hasn't put up his usual numbers. So if I'm looking at it as a defensive coordinator, he's coming in to aid Puka. Puka's not there to aid him. So I'm going to blanket. I'm going to shade more to Puka's side because as a coordinator, I might see Adams on the decline until he shows me otherwise.
right. So that's a benefit to Devontae Adams, right? I was still saying he was going to ball out even if you did shadow and bracket his side. But if you're going to bracket and shadow Puka's side, that's just going to leave one-on-ones with Devontae Adams all day long. And I'm comfortable with that. If you leave him on an island one-on-one all year long, bro, he'll have 1,400 yards like it's no problem. He's still a great route runner. So, like, I mean, just me personally, if you don't want to have him at 5, I'm cool with Amon St. Brown because the last 3 years he's done balled out. So I'm right there with Ja on that.
Okay. I was just, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to get inside the ideology, baby, so you can hear mine.
No, for sure,
All
for
right.
sure.
Moving on, Southgate. What do you got?
I apologize.
Top 5 wide receivers. You're good.
No, I
Top 5
apologize.
receivers.
My cat escaped and I had to chase him up a tree. So that's where I was.
I would have loved to see that.
Call the fire department. Oh, wait, they won't do nothing.
We know. I'm just gonna give you the top 3 because we know the top 2. So you guys are gonna hate me. I got AJ Brown, I got CD Lamb, and I don't care what anyone says. They're just too talented, and they were too good last year. Take your pick, Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors.
Oh, he put a rookie in the top 5.
I don't care. I really don't care. They're too talented.
That's crazy.
You said what?
That's crazy work, Gate.
I'll argue all day long about it.
Oh my gosh! Move on.
Nah,
Southgate.
Cutler's throwing to him. He's too
If
good.
I could put you on the bleachers right now, I would.
Yeah, put me. I told you guys weren't gonna like it. I got CD in front of AJ, but I got CD at 3, then AJ.
And then Puka, or I mean, BTJ.
No one
or
else
Neighbors?
really moves me after that. No other receiver, it really does it for me. Like that, I can say is ooh, like I get excited.
So who is it? BTJ or Neighbors?
I think BTJ is a little bit better because you have a better quarterback throwing to him. But I actually like Neighbors better.
Southgate's diabolical. All right,
But
JB,
listen,
save us.
I mean, nothing else moves me. I'm sorry.
Save us, JB.
Hey, so I mean, pretty much our lists, are besides Southgate's, but pretty much all of our lists, from what I've been hearing, are hitting on the same guys, just different orders. Mine is, the first 2 is obvious. Number 3 though, I'm going with CD. Number 4, I'm going with Puka, and number 5, I'm going with AJ.
Wow, I like it, JB.
You're
All right.
breaking my heart.
Wait, hold on. Everyone's picking Puka, and people like Bag don't even think Puka's gonna be the number 1 on his team.
Right. Well, see, dude, the reason why I think Puka would be that number 1 is just because of the lack of fountain of youth. Father Time catches up to everybody.
I actually,
Grant. The thing is, though, is look at how many he's had more years with getting beat on the past couple of years out there in the Jets and the Raiders. He had that much because more. I mean, I'm not saying this dude doesn't have more. I just don't see them saying, okay, Puka. I know Puka was number 2, but I just see them saying, hey, look, we're going to drop you out.
Well, I actually agree with both you and Big. I think they're going to be 1A and 1-2 there. I think they're both going to have roughly the same type of seasons.
Hey, watch what we say because we're keeping
Yeah.
receipts for the season, and it's almost here. So I'm gonna hold
I'm-
whatever you guys say
Mm.
against you. Remember
I'm
that.
very
Yeah,
confident
Yeah.
in Davis.
yeah.
I'm with it.
If nobody's taking into consideration the chemistry that Stafford and Puka have established over these last couple of seasons, if nobody taking that into account, like
That's
what
what
I'm saying.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Like we're
it, it,
talking about a rookie that won a ring with this guy.
Southgate broke the cardinal rule, but
He
we're
did not
moving
win a
on.
ring. He was drafted He was drafted that year. He went.
Right.
He
Yeah.
got
no,
Oh,
That's
he
what
was
I'm saying.
drafted that year.
the
That's
next
my
year.
bad.
The
Then I
next
thought
the
that was
next
that
year
he
was
was.
a
got
rookie
drafted
season.
next year. But
That's
the
my bad
point
then.
is, no, the point is, what I'm just saying is, he's had him for the last 2 years. Like
Right.
there's more chemistry there than there's going to be with. See, my whole thing is comfortability and chemistry, camaraderie, continuity, all that good stuff. See, that's my thing. I'm looking at it from a coach's point of view. From a coach's point of view, I just feel as though, from a coach's point of view, when Stafford drops back, he's going to look at Puka before he looks at Devontae. That's just me.
But you,
I'm looking at it from a coach's point of view. So I just feel as though that chemistry, that comfortability, you know what I'm saying, that confidence that he's built with him over these last couple of seasons, that when he drops back, he's going to look at Puka before he looks at Adams.
I mean,
yeah, but also in the same token, though, like I asked, from a defensive coordinator perspective, which side you gonna bracket? And you told me Puka, and I can somewhat agree. At first, I disagreed because I said I think you would shadow uh, Adams because I figured he would be playing the X, and it's easier to shadow the side than Puka being in the slot because he plays out of the slot a lot. So if you're gonna if you're gonna bracket Puka, like I said, that's gonna be Devontae Adams one-on-ones all day, and I'm comfortable with that. I think if you keep one-on-one, just Devontae Adams and probably your second best DB because your best one is gonna be shadowing Puka, right? I think he can have 1,200 yards and 8 touchdowns easy, even without the chemistry with Matthew Stafford. Because Matthew
Right, but
Stafford, he's a smart quarterback, so he's going to read the coverage. And as soon as he reads that his bracketed to Puka side, all right, now I know where to go with the ball.
I
All
always
right.
look at it as like that Montana Rice effect, right? When it comes to chemistry, like Montana knew Jerry was going to be doubled every fucking be bracketed every time. Like he understood that, but regardless of the play, when he dropped back, he still had to look that way first because of chemistry, confidence, and insurance that it's been my guy for the last 2 years with him. For the last so many years. So I just think regardless of the scheme, just out of natural instincts, that I just think he's gonna look Puka away first. And I mean, if he thinks he can make that throw, I think he's gonna. I think he has because Stafford's one of the guys that has confidence in his arm. If he
I
thinks
can
he can
dig it.
make that, if he thinks he can make that throw, he's gonna try to make it.
For sure, for sure.
All right, boys. Are you guys good with that? Should we move on to the last 2 subjects? We're at the hour
Yeah,
30
let's move
mark, so I
on.
don't want to make this go too long. We have the MVP discussion I want to hit on next. All right. I am going Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. That's my 1, 2, 3. I'll just keep let's go through this quick. Common, who's your MVP for next year? Give me your top 3 or
Yeah. Y'all know I don't do these picks. It's way too early. They got at least. I mean, we got at least make it through training camp. Like we lose 2 to 3 big names every year in training camp. So this is way too early for me.
all right. Common has no choice or no input. All right, Tines.
I like this one, but personally, I think who I think is going to probably be MVP next year will probably be Lamar. Five, four other candidates I could probably put in there. Definitely Josh Allen. Honestly, I would put probably either Saquon or Derek maybe in there, depending on how they develop next year as well. Considering the fact that you got Derek wanting to get 2,000, Saquon is wanting to Saquon Eagles want to repeat to Elias in there as well. And then I'd probably say next one will probably have to be Joe or Patrick, considering the fact that both of those QBs have been very consistent, especially when healthy, considering Joe Burrow factors. But I would put probably those two in the 4 and 5 as well.
All right. Ja, MVPs.
So typically it's the same thing Common said. However, I'm gonna just say Patrick Mahomes and move on. I don't really have a top three. I'm just, you know,
Bag.
Yeah, I'm going front runner for my three is Lamar Jackson, and probably I think Patty might statistically have a great year and could possibly be considered in the MVP discussion. But I would say Matthew Stafford second, and then Patrick Mahomes third. I think Stafford's going to have a hell of a year this year with what we were just talking about with Puka and Devontae Adams as a duo, and then their running back, he's still a beast. So I like Matthew Stafford.
All right. Southgate.
I'm right with Big. You know how I feel about the Rams going to the Super Bowl this year. So Lamar's always in the running, of course, because he does so much over there. And I think it's either Stafford, Lamar, or Josh.
All right, JB, you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, so I got a little top five. I thought about this one for number one, and I kind of thought, I'm gonna probably get a little bit of flack, but um, I'm going with Mahomes as number one top candidate, and just for the simple fact of he's getting his offensive weapons healthy. Cross some fingers, going and looking at paper, we got that offensive line fixed, right? So hoping, bearing that everything pans out. This man's gonna be burning and scorching the NFL. He's got a revenge tour. He's on something. Then I got Lamar, I got Allen, um, I got Burrow, and then I got Dak Prescott, number five.
I smell some bias. I smell some bias around that one spot.
You can
I
see,
smell it.
you
I
you
smell
can
some.
sniff it. See, and that's what I thought. I was gonna put somebody else up there, but the reason that I was gonna put Lamar. It was gonna be Lamar. It was gonna be Lamar or Allen. But the only reason that I didn't is Patty has been removed, like what 5 6 years from MVP and a few years away from talk. But the last few years, he also hasn't had that production on the offensive side to even be in those categories. So this year, barring everybody's healthy. He's got his wide receivers. He's year two under the belt with them on page. I think, just really being non-biased at this, the guy, you can't hold that man down. And a bunch of the talks that are going on in the NFL and have been since the Super Bowl, and the way that they ended the year, he's not gonna be the same. Just saying.
All right. I think that pretty much wraps up our way too early MVP discussion. Now this is going to be a good one, right? Disappointments. So on this one, what I did is I picked 2 rookies and 2 established players as my
And
4 disappointments for this season.
one,
All right.
and one second, Adrian. So I want to clarify this with the rest of the guys. So this as a disappointment does not have to necessarily be a player or on your team. It doesn't matter the age. It could be the franchise. It could be the coach. It could be the whole defensive unit. It could be the defensive line. Something that you were upset with. You know what I mean? They're disappointed in because of. There you go.
All right, boys. So it's going to be a hot take, right? So my first disappointment is going to be JJ McCarthy on the Vikings. All right. This is going to be a hot take. He could ball out. I think JJ is going to disappoint. And this is way too early to even say anything, but I'm going to pick JJ McCarthy. My second one is going to be Waddle. That's an established player. Well, I guess McCarthy isn't quite established, but that was someone that's in their second year. So I'm going to go Jalen Waddle, number 2. I think he's going to underperform, and I don't think he's going to be a top 20 wide receiver. My 2 disappointments for rookies are going to be Travis Hunter, and it's going to be Judkins for the Browns because of his offseason issues. Travis Hunter, I don't think he's going to be that guy, but we'll see. Common?
I only had like 2 real disappointments that came to mind. And it's the same disappointments I've been talking about all year with you guys on the lives. George Pickens, because you got a young coach over there, and he's going to use and abuse it. And he's going to just do the same stupid, unnecessary antics he was doing in Pittsburgh, which is going to be lack of focus and affect this game. And Chicago Bear offensive line. I do not think they're going to be as good as everybody thinks they're going to be. And I think we're about to see the same old the Bears.
Tinez?
Yes. So back to what I said earlier. Yeah, I don't like that QB room the Saints got. That's my number 1. I don't like it. Why would you have 2 quarterbacks that have even played 2 years of proper football in your QB room that are probably going to be your starter? That to me is one very big disappointment that the Saints have. Another one on the team is probably just the Miami Dolphins, just on their lack of protecting their players as a whole. Having dealing with the situations with Tyreek, now you had to trade Jalen Ramsey. Tua has been a prone injury quarterback. As a whole, Miami has not protected their players. They're starting to be crash outs. So with that, I gotta put them in number 2. My final one for me personally, and I'm not gonna talk about this too crazy, but the whole AB situation, what he possibly did, him leaving, him going out of the country, all that, to me, it's just a disappointment. You don't do that. You don't.
Antonio Brown was your pick for this segment. No, I'm just
But
kidding. I'm messing with you.
That's why I said I'm not gonna talk too much on it.
well, it's my go.
Yeah.
So for breakouts, there's breakouts and disappointments, correct?
Just disappointments.
Right. So a disappointment I have is like Hopper said, the O line of the Bears, only because it's so much hype around it. The Josh Thuney, getting Thuney. Yeah, there's so much hype around Thuney, and yet the last time we seen Thuney play, granted he's out of position, but he wasn't good. He wasn't one of the best. And you go get a guy off offensive line that Army I don't think was that good. Also, disappointment I had the running game of the Detroit Lions, and the simple fact that Common touched on earlier, your OC, you have a new OC. The plays are going to be different, everything's going to be different, and your center retired, which I don't know how much stock y'all put in it, but I put a lot of stock in Frank Ragnow retiring. I think he was a top center in the league, and when he was a top center, your team typically, outside of some anomalies, your team typically does take it down. So because of that, I have those. So
Bag.
So, first thing I was disappointed in, a lot of it has to do with the draft. So I was disappointed that the Jaguars got finessed by the Cleveland Browns. I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie Draft Day with Kevin Costner, but
Yes, sir.
essentially that happened. That's how it happened in my eyes with them, right? They got him in a dark alley and told him, "Give me everything," right? Secondly, is the GM for the Chicago Bears, Ryan Pohl. I don't know what the hell he's doing the last two drafts. You drafted your quarterback number 1 overall last year. You knew you had offensive line problems previous because your first round pick a couple years ago, Justin Fields, couldn't stay upright. So what do? You don't draft a lineman because you had the first overall pick, you got Williams. Then you had the 9th overall pick, and instead of getting a lineman, you get Roma Dunze. I don't understand why you're getting skill position when you can't keep your quarterback straight, upright, right? And then, thirdly, I hate to say it, I know you're not gonna like it, Common, but I don't understand what Pittsburgh's doing. They literally went to the AARP Senior
Hmm.
Citizen Club to get players at key positions, like Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Rodgers. Like, I mean, even DK himself is kind of old. So I just was disappointed. I was hoping they were going to actually try to, you know, trade some assets or some draft capital, right? And maybe shoot and try to get a top 10 quarterback in the top 5 or whatever. But they didn't do that. So, oh well.
Southgate.
So what are we naming? 2 disappointments that we think are gonna happen?
Yeah, just give us a disappointment, whether it's team, player, coach,
I
Top
think
position.
5. Whatever.
Pete Carroll's gonna be a disappointment. I think all those Raider fans are dreaming, and he's not gonna do nothing with that team. And this goes out to my boy Retro. I think Jaden Daniels is gonna be a disappointment compared to what he was last year.
Throwing shade on the podcast.
Yep. I think Jaden Daniels has too far of a bar to live up to. League of adjustments, and he's gonna come back to earth.
JB, finish us off.
All right, so mine go last year to this year, right? So last year, I'm disappointed, and maybe this goes on further on too as well into this year. But I'm disappointed with Tua, right? Miami Dolphins and Tua and how they handle his situation on the field. I'm disappointed in the way that the man has been taught and told how to have a little bit better longevity and be able to stay healthy in this league. And yet, what did we see? He did not do what he did the year before and protect himself. All right. Some of it, I mean, is not always his fault, but I'm pretty sure a couple of them he's not protecting himself. Next one, I'm disappointed in the Chiefs' offensive line, their tackles mainly. Um, we've seen the last few years them pulling pieces together with tackles. Jawan Taylor can't seem to not catch a penalty, one of the most penalized players in the NFL in the last 5 years. And then our left tackles, we just can't find one. Hopefully that's changed this year. Next, I am upset or disappointed with the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. They've let a lot go and recouped a lot less. I'm starting. I hate to say it, but we're starting to see, I think, a dark cloud come over Pittsburgh in the way that they're running that franchise. Sorry, Common, but they've gotten rid of, like Bag said, they've gotten rid of a lot, and whether or not they just swapped people, and I just don't see them getting any better, man. They got older in every aspect, and they put more money out. That to me is not a something that you can build off of. I mean, there's one thing to buy a championship and try to make a run, but this is not that at all. Um, let's see, that's Miami, Kansas City, Pittsburgh. Uh, hold on, let me. Anthony Richardson, I'm disappointed in him throughout his whole ordeal with being too tired to play last year, coming off the field, and then this year, he's already injured, and the question marks of Daniel Jones possibly taking that leading spot, and this guy was supposed to be drafted for a franchise quarterback. I'm disappointed in that guy, and yeah, I think I'm gonna end my disappointments on that note.
All right, boys. Well, I am going to close it here. We're at an hour and 50 minutes. This was a really good podcast this week. My closing statements, I want to give a shout out to our upcoming debaters. We have Jaw taking on Bo, and we have Bags taking on Kukui. And I want to just give you guys, let you guys know we're going to be there to support you for this TikTok live debate. If you guys don't know,
Facts.
we have debates every Tuesday. Well, they've been varying, but Bro from the No Man podcast has been hosting debates, and we have two of Not Move stepping up to the plate. So Jaw, Bag, you got our support, and you guys are going to smash it, and we're going to be there to root you guys on. And I can't wait for you guys to represent the brand. This is the Not Move
Yes.
podcast, and we are
Only
coming for
heavy
you.
hitters.
Hey yo, check this out, right? Bags and JB. Did we just meet? Let me introduce myself. I'm Coach Common. I'm 6'4". I'm 280 pounds.
I'm not moved, bro.
I don't move so easy. I'm not moved. I'm not moved by no move the Pittsburgh Steelers have done all off season. And you guys know this. I have not been moved by any move they have made. So you don't have to apologize to me because I completely agree with you. So there's no, remember that, man.
Nah,
Baby.
I know. I just wanted to give you a fair warning that we're ready to take a little shot at your team. That's all.
Oh nah, it's not. Listen, it's not a shot at the team. You're not giving a shot when it's the truth.
Very
Right,
true.
right.
Very true.
Facts.
You feel me? We deal with we factual over here, baby. We ain't casual. Ain't nobody gonna catch no feelings about no truth.
Type shit.
Hey, I do want to say this, man. Like you said, like HM was hitting on, man. You guys, bro, this is the biggest event that Not Moved has been a part of. Man, we're gonna publicize this. Let's get this out there. Let's bring this trophy home. We are also guys, Chief just set up, and anybody that wants to join it outside of the podcast is welcome as well. But we got a fantasy football league. We gotta send, or he's got to send out the invites with for your email. So if you guys got one, I know there's a list of them that have been dropped. Some of them haven't. So Chief's in control of that whole aspect. He took that upon himself. So shout out to Chief for that. I'm working on something in the works for possible. We're gonna have a trophy for it. And we're looking at possibly doing some giveaways as a podcast. So we'll see. We'll let everybody know how that's what's going to go on from there.
Sounds good.
Again,
I'm definitely looking forward to doing this debate. So
I'm excited for you boys. Like, we coming, dude. None of us are gonna back down from a debate. Whoever wants to come, they can come. We're here. Not moving, gonna back down from a date. We made this shit. Debating, we made this. We made this a thing. Now other people ran with it, but we started the debates. And you guys all know this. So guess what? Not moved, we're here. We're not moving anywhere. Whoever wants to debate us, we're here.
Facts.
All
And
right.
shout out to TA, and you guys don't know, also shout out to NNT group. BTG's taking on TA. TA, we stand by TA. At least I do.
yeah, just speak for yourself. I know that's your chief. buddy. But yeah.
Hey,
He's
he
got
from the
tough
town
sledding.
too.
BTG ain't no slouch, bro. He's
Nah,
coming.
hell
He's
no.
not. But he
BTG know what
TA's
he's
from the
talking
town.
about.
Yeah.
Besides Common, he probably like one of my favorite Steelers fans
Yep.
that I rock with for real.
So yeah, if you guys don't know, tune in TikTok live. You go to TikTok, going to the live, you go to Bro, no ma'am affiliated. You go to his account or any of our accounts, and you'll be able to see all of us debating other podcasts, other TikTok members in the community. So good luck, boys. I'm rooting for you. I'll be there to judge, and we come and Not Moved ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Appreciate
do.
it. Appreciate the
Hey,
support. Appreciate the support. And not move always on top.
Yo, we gonna be right there with y'all, man. Y'all already know.
Hey,
Hey, Ja, I'm about
Yeah.
to call you.
hey guys, and on a bounce out note, everybody tune in, check us out on Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Twitch, we're TikTok, we're on all platforms. Tap in with us. IG, Twitter, Facebook. Ain't one that you can't find us at.
All right. Now I think that's a wrap. Everybody here and Not Move. We wish you nothing but greatness. Enjoy your day on purpose.
And
Peace.
not
God bless you
hey,
all. And one
and
for
with that.
all, and